yeah, I'm reminded today why spiritual identity is one of the most painful forms of identity. Especially non-dual and awakening identity. Especially Christianity, especially Catholicism, especially Judaism, especially shamanism, especially any system of worship that's fixated around. I'm not saying the fault is in the teachings or the teachers or the dogma. I'm not saying it isn't, but the tendency of anything to become concretized, become absolute truth, and the violence of that. Why is that so violent in a spiritual form? Well, spirituality is inherently pointing us to that which is bigger than me. That which this me is surrendered to, that which this true separate form, this body, this beating heart, this set of lungs gives way into when the form ends. The true transpersonal reality of life, heaven, God, afterlife, divinity, whatever you want to point to. That when it's misunderstood as this fixed thing, this fixed transpersonal God or truth or divinity that we have to keep coming back to in reference, which is inherently false, then the kind of blueprint for freedom feels tainted. It's not that it's any trickier of an identity to crack through, but it can be so foundationally uprooting of everything we kind of built our lives around, everything we put energy into. Our relationships, our pleasure, our activity, our social spaces, how we talk to people, how we make music together, how we create art together, what we create art about. It can be so painful to be holding on so tightly that when we see through it, if we see through it, or if we think we see through it and then we're told you're delusional or you're sinful or you're still identified. Shame on you. Then freedom can be an ending of a relationship that was very nourishing, or seemed to be, probably was, at certain moments, but it's the misunderstanding that it's always that way. Like the seeking of spiritual experience that I see so often in non-duality and awakening circles, I realize I'm, I guess, part of now. I don't even know what that means, but I realize I'm part of it. nothing is ever the same. And yes, I love and support those of us that feel like in a state of nothingness, in a state of open, quiet, calm, nobody here, tenderness. As much as I love the mess that arises when we're just being the raw humans that we are, in our suffering, in our grief, in our shame, like truly that is one of the most tender places for me, being with people, like how much courage it takes in a spiritual setting to risk judgment of God, judgment of the awakened one. Like one of the most courageous. Experiences to share, period. And it's worth saying again, I think, although I'm sure it's been said probably by many people, although many people are saying other things that take the space because their dopamine hits. We seek attention, we seek euphoria, we seek freedom in a certain hedonistic sense, like, because certainly no self can feel like that flavor if we're really seeking it and wanting to stay in it and thinking that that's all that there is. I hope this doesn't feel like judgment, but more of a fierce love for everything. The people in the dock down there fishing, laughing and being so human. The readiness of life to wake up when it's awakening to whatever it's awakening in that moment, and realizing that there's always more, infinitely. And so whenever we're feeling stuck in one place, that's what we're continuing to wake through. And what I see in the maturing of awakening is that we come back home to the scene of the crime, and we're forced to awaken to this body, this social scape. Like, do we want to be the monk on the tower? Then fine. But if we're really honest and feel into the bodies, the nervous systems, the hearts, humanity, I'm not going to tell you what that looks like for you, but I really celebrate how diverse and eclectic and crazy and nutty and hilarious that really is. So don't fool yourself that you're looking for any one thing, any one temple, anyone. Black hole and just want to take the word freedom out of the equation, because it's more like a reconciliation. Not to wallow in the unconscious humanity, to perpetuate unconsciousness. That's not what I'm talking about. But the true reconciliation that leads to freedom as a byproduct. It so rarely happens, but when it does, whether it's under the guise of something spiritual or it's just the true unfolding without being turned away from or avoided or negotiated into something else or managed into something else. When you reconcile with that, then we're free to be constantly evolving, deepening, without shame, without the fear of making a mistake and falling back into our sinful or asleep shameful selves.